Hey, Spilling the Sweet Tea fam, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm spilling the tea on how to make these hot cross biscuits. These biscuits are so delicious and they would be perfect for Easter brunch. Let me show you how to make them. Of course, I'm using Miss Lena's biscuit bowl, which is a replica of the biscuit bowl my mother used my entire childhood, and Miss Lena's buttermilk biscuit mix, which is produced by me, Spilling the Sweet Tea. Y'all, I'm still in awe that I'm the founder of this brand. You can find Miss Lena's biscuit bowl and my biscuit mix on my website, spillingthesweettea.com. My biscuit mix is also on Amazon.com. So once your biscuit mix is in the bowl, you want to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. A traditional hot cross bun has a little bit of sweetness to it, so that's why I'm adding the sugar into my biscuit mix. The other thing I'm adding to reflect the taste of a hot cross bun is lemon zest. You just want the zest of 1 whole lemon to go into your biscuit mix. Traditional hot cross buns call for dried currants. I'm not a big fan of currants, so I'm using dried cherries. You can use whatever works for you or use what you have. You could add dried apricots or just plain raisins to this biscuit dough. It's really up to you. I got these dried cherries from Wegmans and I gave them a taste test and they were so good. They honestly taste like a better version of craisins. Really plump and not too sweet. These were definitely a 10 out of 10. The dried cherries were a little bit too big, so all I did was just use a knife to cut them into smaller pieces. And once I had them all chopped up, I just added them to my biscuit mix. Now all you want to do is incorporate your dried cherries into your biscuit mix until it's well combined. You want to make sure those dried cherries are nicely coated. And once everything is well combined, you can add your grated butter. I always use a stick of frozen butter anytime I'm making my biscuits. The key to making really good biscuits is making sure that your butter is really cold. So I always have sticks of butter in my freezer because baby, your girl makes a lot of biscuits because she owns a biscuit brand. The back of the package instructions for my biscuit mix calls for Crisco because that's how my mother made her biscuits. But anytime I'm making biscuits that I need to have rolled and cut out, I use butter. If you're using the drop biscuit method, you can use Crisco. I love using this rotary grater to grate my butter into my biscuit mix mixture. Baby, it is actually the perfect height and goes nicely into the Miss Lena's biscuit bowl. And yeah, I just got my hair done, so I'm whipping my hair back and forth. Anyway, all you have to do is combine your butter in with your biscuit mix mixture until all the butter is well coated with the flour. I say this all the time. This is how my mother used to make her biscuits. She used a biscuit bowl very similar to this one. This bowl is actually a replica of the bowl she used my entire childhood. I know a lot of people use their hands when they're mixing their biscuit dough. My mother didn't do that. She always used a fork. So that's why I'm always going to use a fork. Once you have everything well combined, you just want to make a well in the middle of your biscuit bowl and then add 1 cup of buttermilk. The beauty of this bowl is it allows you to pull the flour from the sides of your bowl into the center just like this. All you want to do is work your buttermilk into your flour mixture until it forms a dough. Once your mixture has formed a dough, you just want to flour your countertop or your working surface to be able to roll out your biscuits. You want to make sure that your surface is well floured, so make sure you clean your surface and then make sure to also flour your surface really well so your dough does not stick to your countertop. When I do this, I just use plain all-purpose flour. I love making all types of biscuits, so I was definitely excited to try these hot cross buns biscuits. They honestly kind of remind you of a Bowberry biscuit. So if you've been to Bojangles, the taste is very similar with the cream cheese icing and with the dried cherries instead of blueberries. So if you love to make biscuits and you love to play with different flavors of biscuits, make sure to check out my website, spillingthesweettea.com. I also have a few recipes in my cookbook, Memories on a Plate, Southern recipes I learned from my mama. Once you have your surface floured, you want to make sure you're also flouring your rolling pin. You don't want any of this dough to stick. So once you roll out your dough once, you just want to fold it over 1 time and then turn it. I know in the past I have just folded my dough 3 times, but this is a new method that I'm trying. I'm just folding it 1 time and then turning it and then rolling it out again and then repeating that process. I recently tried this technique on another batch of biscuits and I actually liked how they turned out better. But you can certainly do what works best for you. This is my method and I love trying different techniques anytime I'm cooking. So you just want to continue this process a few more times because the more you fold and turn your biscuits, the fluffier they'll be and the more layers you'll have in your biscuits. These biscuits aren't going to get as fluffy because they're going to be weighed down by the dried cherries, but they'll still be really light and airy. You'll see at the end once I break them apart how beautiful and light and airy they are. Y'all, I never would have thought that I would morph into this biscuit queen. My mother taught me how to make biscuits, but she always kept her biscuits fairly simple. She would either make sweet potato biscuits sometimes, and then she would also do a hoop cheese biscuit every now and then. She mainly stuck with her traditional pan of biscuits, but I love putting strawberries in my biscuits, blueberries in my biscuits. I've done ham, cheddar, and chive biscuits, jalapeno biscuits, so many different variations of biscuits. Once you roll out your dough and you're ready to cut your biscuits, you just want to cut straight down. You don't want to twist the biscuit cutter, because if you do, your biscuits won't rise correctly. I'm baking my biscuits on a baking tray. Sometimes I use a cast iron skillet, but today I'm just putting them on a greased baking tray that I greased with Crisco. You just want to continue this process until all your dough is gone. Roll it out, cut out your biscuits. I think I was able to get about 8 biscuits out of this dough. I'm using a fairly large biscuit cutter. I'm going to cut my biscuit dough into 4s before I put them on my baking tray. So I'm just going to roll out and cut out these last 2 biscuits that I have. I actually think I can get 1 more out this dough, because waste not, want not. To cut my biscuits into quarters, I'm just using this cutter that I use on my Blackstone. You can use a knife if you want. This just works better for me. I was able to cut straight down and make sure everything was nice and even. Once you cut all your biscuits in 4ths, the next thing you want to do is add your biscuits to a baking tray. I normally bake my biscuits in a cast iron skillet, but because I don't want my biscuits to touch, I'm using a baking tray. I just greased the baking tray with a little bit of Crisco and made sure to preheat my oven to 450 degrees. These are already giving me hot cross bun vibes. The next thing you want to do is prepare an egg wash. All I'm going to do is just beat an egg. You want to make sure you beat your egg really well. And once you have your egg beaten, you just want to add your egg wash on top of your biscuit. Baby, if you cannot tell, I love having fun in the kitchen. Y'all, it's honestly my happy place. And every time I'm in the kitchen making biscuits, I'm always thinking about my late mother. My mom made a pan of biscuits pretty much every single weekend my entire childhood. And that's why I love biscuits so much. Like I said, she never made fancy biscuits. They were always traditional biscuits. But I love putting my twist and my spin on a classic Southern treat, like a homemade hot biscuit. Now that your biscuits are egg washed, all you want to do is pop them into the oven. And baby, don't burn yourself like I did. Oh my God, that hurts so bad. When I tell you I have so many battle scars from cooking, but it's all worth it when you get a result like this. When I tell you these biscuits look so good, they are fresh out the oven, fabulous. And I love that they're giving me hot cross bun vibes. Now here's the tea on the icing. You want 1 cup of powdered sugar. Add that to your bowl. And now you want to add some whipped cream cheese. And make sure to get the whipped cream cheese, because ain't nobody got time for it to soften at room temperature. I'm busy. I got things to do. You want to add 2 heaping tablespoons of your whipped cream cheese, and then add 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Once you have everything in your mixing bowl, you just want to use a hand mixer and mix everything up until it's well combined. If you can't tell, I love this cordless hand mixer. I'll have it linked in my Amazon storefront if you want to check it out. It is so lightweight, and I love that it's cordless. So once your icing is mixed up, it should look a little bit like this. Now you want to use a decorating tool so you can pipe your icing in between the creases of your hot cross biscuits. This decorating tool is another Amazon find. I use it all the time. I use it anytime I'm decorating cakes or cupcakes, and I also use it to pipe my deviled egg filling into my deviled eggs. But only when I'm serving deviled eggs for a party, because when I'm making them just for my family, I'm just gonna use a spoon. But this tool makes it so easy. I have this one, and I also have a stainless steel one as well. It comes with several different decorating tips, which is great if you want to use different tips, especially when you're decorating a cake. Now that I'm locked and loaded with my icing, I'm just gonna ice my biscuits. I really shouldn't be this excited about a kitchen gadget. Using your decorating tool, just pipe your icing down each line of your biscuits to create that hot cross buns vibe. I did encounter this problem when I was icing my biscuits. My icing was a little bit too thick, so to thin it out, just add a splash of milk. That's it. Because if your icing is too thick, it won't go through the tool. So make sure your icing is not too thick. So just adding that splash of milk will make all of the difference. And that's it. That's all. You have made hot cross buns inspired biscuits. I loved how these biscuits turned out. They are perfect for your Easter brunch or your Easter Sunday dinner. I love the addition combination of the dried cherries and the lemon zest and the icing on top just took them to the next level. You just got the tea on how to make these hot cross biscuits. Happy Easter from Spilling the Sweet Tea. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. If you make these hot cross bun inspired biscuits, make sure to tag me on social media at Spilling the Sweet Tea. See you in the next video, y'all.